Welcome back, beer tubers. Ryan here with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me. For the first time I'm ever going to try a beer from Jester in, I believe they're Austin, Texas. Yes, Austin, Texas. And this is their Noble King. This they call their Hoppy Farmhouse Ale. It's 5.9%. And I love these labels from Jester King. They're very distinct. They're kind of reflective. But they also put all the ingredients and information on the back of the beer, so it gives me a good idea of what I'm getting into with this beer. So let's get it open. Glad they are finally being distributed here in San Diego. And yeah, it's pouring out kind of like I thought it would. See how hoppy this is. I don't expect it to be, you know, IPA levels, but hoppier than maybe a traditional Saison. Although this is a little low on ABV. No, it's about 6%, so that's right around maybe what you get with typical Saison. Really carbonated, really hazy. Really like that in these types of beers. You know, about 2-finger bright white head. Just kind of what you want in a Belgian style light golden ale like this one. Let's get the nose on it. Yeah, I mean a lot of hops. The yeast is certainly there. This one it says they're using East Kent Goldings and Czech saws and whatever else I guess they have of those on hand. You definitely get that floral, semi-citrusy, more like lemongrass kind of character on the nose. That Czech sauce spiciness is clearly there. I mean, but earthiness, that kind of grassy earthiness is on the nose. I get a little bit of like some yeast esters coming through as well. Some of that kind of wheat character. So it's interesting, they have like this English/Czech hop aroma going on with a Belgian style beer. So that's pretty cool. Let's dig in and give this a try. Cheers. Yeah, that's really nice. Super refreshing. Wow. Really clean tasting. Highly drinkable stuff. Very light mouthfeel. So it's a pretty warm day in here. Mid-70s, fantastic day. Want a nice refreshing beer after I just watered my hops and other parts of my yard. So this is just a great beer for that kind of weather. So up front you get some of that bitterness from the hops. Not that intense, high alpha acid type of bitterness. These lower alpha acid hops like EKG and saws, you know, they have a different, rounder, softer bitterness, so you get that up front. Follows the nose really well. Getting some of that sort of citrusy lemongrass, touch of, you know, that floral note in there, but certainly that really characteristic Czech spiciness up front. So once that bitterness, the hoppiness up front kind of fades, it brings forth this big sweetness. Big just breadiness, slight caramel notes. Big nice balanced sweetness. Then the yeast comes in at the end. The yeast isn't super estery. You get a little touch of spice, nothing like super peppery or anything like that. Just more like a lighter stone fruit kind of character to it. Sort of that pear, like sweeter apple notes in the back end. And it finishes really nice and dry and crisp. And on the back end you get like this big earthiness that kind of might be transitioning from the hops, but also the yeast. A little bit of that sort of, not quite a Brett funkiness, but it certainly has that sort of earthy hay note to it on the back end. That they call it their Farmhouse yeast, which I'm not too familiar with what exactly that entails. If it's a blend of different Belgian Saison yeast, or if, you know, how exactly they acquired it, because I heard they were doing some wild yeast, kind of using some wild yeast down there in Austin, but I don't know for sure. But this is a really nice beer. Not quite blowing me away, but super drinkable stuff. B+, no problem. I mean, just it's nice to see a nice hop forward, lighter kind of Belgian Saison Farmhouse ale. It doesn't quite fit into that traditional Saison category. You know, just kind of, you know, typical kind of American beer just doesn't quite fit into a certain category, which is nice. And it's got a hopped up level, but they're not using big, bold, citrusy American, piney American hops. They're using more traditional stuff. So recommend checking this out if you're into Belgian style ales, especially on a warm day. This is good lawnmower, you know, drinking beer, except for the alcohol is maybe slightly higher than, they do a super low ABV beer too that I've tried but haven't seen around here yet. But glad Jester King is available here. Check them out. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.